I run a couple different YouTube channels. In this video, I wanted to go over the setup that I use in almost all the channels, but more specifically on the Pokemon one. There's going to be a lot of different products that I talk about in this video, so all those affiliate links will be in the description below in case anyone's interested in either purchasing them or seeing further the actual items. Contrary to what I show in the videos, my setup usually looks pretty clean, but the table is kind of messy. I actually did just clean it up. There's a whole bunch of projects and videos that I am working on, and it's hard to, in this little space, to kind of do everything. I do have like some table or shelves over here to try and like control the chaos, but it does definitely look a little bit more messy than I show on camera, but it is what it is. So I got some Pokemon stuff here, also got some Warhammer stuff, been really chipping away at that. But as for the setup itself, I have this like L-shaped desk. So all the footage I record here, I can sit in the desk, do that, blah, 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 and then I can swivel over here and actually edit the video pretty efficiently from like one seat. It makes getting the B-roll really easily, and actually editing, it's pretty comfortable, but it just works. A lot of the things I'm going to be talking about, like things that I do, are pretty simplistic and I guess maybe common sense. I like to do things simply because when it's simple, it can be efficient. When you're efficient, you can do a lot more things with the limited amount of time that we have. So this setup to me is great with this shaped desk, although it is, again, kind of small. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but for right now, it does do pretty well. I will eventually be upgrading pretty much my whole setup, but this will be a good timestamp for future reference to what I had at some point in my life to do all these videos. But yeah, I don't want to talk about what I'm going to be doing in the future. Just talk about what I got going on right now. But as for the setup, ergonomically, I guess maybe that's the magic word. This is pretty efficient. People are always interested in gear, so I guess we'll go over the camera. So right now I'm recording on what is this? It's a Sony ZV-E10, and it's got a Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens. I don't want this to be a camera review, so I'll just keep it kind of high level. The camera does what I need it to do. It supports live streaming. It's got things like auto and manual focus. I can also adjust the ISO, which is like the brightness it can take in the camera. Does what I need to do. The lens is pretty expensive, but it's exactly what I wanted the lens to do. I wanted a lens where, like, if I go close, it blurs the background. If I go in the background, it kind of adjusts like that way. But I wanted that like feeling when I'm on camera that like I'm the centerpiece. Everything in the background exists, but it's blurred, and the lens was just perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. Although that does complicate things, like because that lens is more specific for certain types of content, like the face-to-face kind of thing, like the talking videos. When I do actually shoot with that lens on, like when I have it set up here, it doesn't get like the best quality, but I could just buy another lens, but I'm kind of being cheap. But yeah, that camera is kind of expensive, and the lens is definitely pretty expensive, but it's what I wanted, and it works. I had this camera in like college. This is this Canon HFR 700. I mean, I don't even know if they make this anymore. I wouldn't recommend it. There's a whole bunch of other better quality cameras out there you could get. But it's pretty good because it's kind of old school, and the type of content that I make is just old. Like, I'm just pointing the camera at the screen, so it just works, and I don't need to do like any adjustments to it. But it's pretty limiting. Like, I don't use that to record my face or anything. It's just for recording like the Game Boys itself. For the tripod that I use to support the camera, for the tabletop stuff or angles, it's this Gecko. This thing's really adjustable. Like, you could do so much with this, and it's got this extension arm to put it out, so you can, get over here. Probably be helpful if I take the camera off. I'll try not to jiggle it around too much. But this thing, really nice. It's got this arm, and then you can unscrew that. It's got so much adjustability. This can go like up and down, left and right. I don't want to adjust it because I got it where I need it. But you can also make it really tall too. It's got 3 different like points of adjustments, and this thing as well. Although I did break this, so I can't use this anymore. I do really like this tripod because of the adjustability, and I've been using it for a while. But if I have to do this table setup, like I'm considering a different tripod actually, where it clamps on like the side, and it just and then you could look right over. For tabletop stuff or like top-down views, for what I'm exactly doing for my videos, I wouldn't recommend this, but for just a tripod in general, this works really well. But I am looking into some alternatives. I've just, again, been pretty lazy. If I don't like spending too much money. I'd rather spend money on Pokemon games and like gear. Lighting is very important with the camera. These I think I got like Walmart. They're just bright LED lights. I like these white lights. The white lights are helpful because I think to me it just makes editing and color correcting a whole lot easier. I don't really have any proof behind that, but I think it just does the trick. So I got those. I got that light, this light, and then I got even another light behind here. And I do have like this umbrella light that's kind of shining on me. Basically, you just need a bunch of white, bright LED lights. Maybe not even LED, just bright lights. The brighter the lights, the brighter you can, in a sense, the brighter you can make the environment, the easier it is for the camera to pick it up, and also easier to edit if you want to color correct and stuff like that. You probably heard it before, definitely recommend upgrading your lights before you upgrade your camera, because the lights make the camera better. I want to move over to audio because I love geeking out over it. So this is the main mic I've been using most recently, I guess for like the last year. This is the Electro Voice RE20, if it would focus. This is like a radio microphone that it has a pretty big history of being used. And man, the quality you get just right out of the box on this is excellent. Very happy with that product. It is a bit expensive. I'm looking at the price right now. It's like $450. But again, like, if you're just starting off making videos, it's very hard to recommend this to somebody. But the quality you get is so great. And again, like right out of the box, it sounds really good. I still go in and I clean it up afterwards in post. But for what you get, you definitely pay for what you get, but you get a really good product. And I've tried a bunch of other microphones before. I had the Blue Yeti, I had a Blue Snowball, I had even a Sennheiser one. I don't remember exactly what that was. I had a Rode, I think the NT1s or NT5s. They all do kind of different things, but for like the dialogue, like very long dialogue videos that really want to pick up human conversation, I think this is really good for the listener. And I guess podcasting in general, which again, I think it's kind of what it's for. But yeah, I love this microphone. Microphone's connected to this Sennheiser like boom arm thing. This actually came with the other microphone that I have had, which I don't use anymore, but pretty much any boom arm would work. Pretty adaptable. Or like the microphone is pretty adaptable. You can fit in with anything. The microphone also came with this clip thing to connect it to this boom arm. Also this cable, this XLR cable. I wouldn't recommend people skimping out of the XLR cables, because if you do buy cheap ones, I've heard that the connectors are just bad. And if the connectors are bad, they could potentially break the mic. I would hate to buy cheap cables and only to find out it breaks the mic or gets caught in there, whatever. Get good cables. I did spend some pretty good amount of money on these. Definitely recommend getting good cables, like high quality cables, if you are very into this and serious. It's kind of like at least for me, the buy once, cry once thing. The XLR cable is feeding into this Rode Duocaster. Whoops. This thing is absolutely overkill to what I use, but I wanted something where I could do podcasting and stuff if I, again, wanted to. It is a little bit bulky, it does take up a lot of space, but it looks kind of cool too. So if I put in videos, again, it's got that cool factor, but it does what I want it to do. Definitely overkill to what I need, because I don't use any of these pads or anything like that. But the quality is also, I think, just there. A little expensive. There's a lot better budget alternatives that I would probably recommend a friend as opposed to this. This is cool though, because you can connect 2 headphones, you get 2 mics, and I guess that's really all. But for one-on-one podcasting, it's like perfect. And you get all this like adjustability too. There's also like a whole bunch of like filters you can do in here. I don't want to, maybe I'll click it now. You can go in here and like actually adjust all these settings. Although I do typically keep it like standard, because I like to edit everything in post. I think I just have more control. Yeah, one thing too, while we're on the conversation of mics, where is it? I have this, I think this is called the, what is this? the Rode Wireless Compact, something like that. It's like a lav mic. I don't really use these too often, but they came with this purchase, which was really nice. So I think they were like either doing a promo or like a discount, trying to test out these products. So I got them for kind of free because I was just buying this. I think these lav mics are pretty good. I don't really have experience using other ones, but I'm more in favor of like a mic like this as opposed to the lav mics. Again, I like I think there's so much higher quality in like a microphone like this than the lav mics, but then again, you get that flexibility to move around with a mic like this. My main headphone that I'm using is this Audio-Technica. It's the ATH-M50X. I've used this headphone, and I used it's like really destroyed, but I have this Shure headphone. This is a really nice headphone, but it's like it's got like no life left in it. But for the most part, for editing, for sound control and understanding like what's going on with the audio, I use these headphones. It doesn't have noise canceling, but it's got the cups like encase your head and ears, so it limits the background noise. These do feel a little more bassy. Like I definitely feel or hear more bass when I'm editing, as opposed to like, let's say I go on like Apple headphones or even just like listening like on a laptop speaker. But I do like these headphones. They aren't like that expensive either. I'm looking at them right now, like $160. I think those Shure ones down there were like $400. I didn't actually buy those though. I got them handed down from a friend. But the headphones are pretty important for the editing and everything like that. But when you start pushing like the $300-$400 for a headphone, to me, again, I'm not a headphone expert, but I feel like it diminishing returns. For the webcams, I do have a couple, I guess 2 of these Logitech. I don't even know what these are called. I wouldn't recommend these. There's probably a lot better ones now. I got these in like college. So it was like almost 10 years ago. They're pretty average pretty average webcams. But the camera I'm holding right now acts as a webcam or as a USB device that you can stream from. Although I think you only get like 1280p, so the quality isn't really there. Or sorry, 1080p, but it's 1280 by 720. Not the best resolution, but this just works a lot better than this. I have a couple hard drives over here. There should actually be 3 hard drives. They're kind of probably hidden. I need to get probably more soon. That was one thing that I didn't really anticipate That's one thing I didn't anticipate was how much hard drive space you need to, especially now doing like 4K videos, just make the quality a little better. And also YouTube like downscales the quality sometimes. So if you're not in 4K or like a degree of it, your video kind of looks like poop, in my opinion. Maybe I'm nitpicking the quality, but a lot of hard drives and a lot of storage, making sure retain all the files. But yeah, for those I mostly use like Samsung portable SSDs. I mean, I don't really have a specific reason other than it's worked and they're pretty fast. They work. Never had an issue with them. So I just keep buying what I think is good. I also really random. I have this tripod too. So me and tripods are broken, and I do have right now the camera on another tripod. It's a Sunpack 5858D. I got it at Best Buy like 15 years ago. I probably wouldn't like use that tripod. I like so much more adjustability on something like this. Anyway, I have this. Oh, it's a Sunpack 4200 XL. This is it's broken, but this tripod I use to like set up over here on my table to do like the face cams. I really need to get a better tripod. I'm using a rubber band and I use a sock. Rubber band and a sock to keep it stable. I don't know. I spend like a couple $100 on new Pokemon games and I just don't buy like a $20 tripod. Priorities. But as for like the setup and everything, that's pretty much it. And I mean, maybe some people were asking like setting up, it's pretty simple. I don't want to over complicate it, but you just put the phone here or the camera here and I put my game here and I just record it. And I do have 2 books here, which kind of bring the camera closer because this is as low as this tripod can go. So I bring the camera closer to the, I bring my game closer to the camera, and like with this camera specifically, it wants to be close, or it starts getting all weird for some reason when I record using my games. When I use this camera, it can be really anywhere on the table, but again, it's because the lens I have on that camera is it's not made for this type of environment. I'm not a camera lens expert, but from personal experience, it's pretty obvious or evident. For the most part, I'll have my camera or my tripod like this. Sometimes I'll turn it the other way and we'll get like this view, or I'll take this tripod and like throw it over here to get different camera angles. But this configuration of how the desk is set up is like 99% of the time, maybe 95% of the time. And I'm just putting my game here, click and play, popping that SD card out, putting it in here, getting the video files on the computer, and then organizing and then editing, and compiling it into a final, enjoyable, digestible piece of content. This is my setup right now. There's a lot of there are different products and things that I probably should be using that would make this a little bit better. Just haven't spent the money on it just yet. And this is not my final build of a setup. Like real quick, I really would like standing desks. I think I just don't like sitting all the time. I need bigger desks. I need probably 2 times the amount of this. One for like Pokemon, one for like Warhammer, and I definitely don't need this to be on the table. This should really be something like this boom arm where it's connected to the side of the table, and like it just gets in the way of my hands. It's taking up precious real estate on this table. Again, great tripod, but the functionality could be a better tripod, or a better tripod could be used in this situation. But yeah, I think we covered everything. Again, a couple people were asking me to do my specific setup and how I record things. But if anybody has any questions, let me know in the comment section. If anybody wants to purchase any of these products, I do have my affiliate links down below from Amazon. I earn a little bit of a commission. Don't have to use it. I'm just noting that it is there. Anyway, though, take care, everybody. Be sure to check out some of the videos on the channel for other, lessons that I've learned about content creation, but also what I plan on doing in the future on my other channels. Take care.